wisdom teachers, gentle healers, and bold leaders of our global awakening. Welcome to the Joshua Jordan Experience. Listen to gather mystical insights for an extraordinary life. Hello. I'm so glad you're back, my dear friends. Today, what I want to talk about is this Yin Yang symbol and why I chose that symbol as my logo on our Oneness Wisdom Academy and also for the Joshua Jordan Experience. I want to share with you just some very basic awareness about what the Yin Yang symbol is. It did arise from Taoism, and it is about the dualistic world that we live in, not just physically, but also non-physically. So the dualism of reality is expressed in these two opposites, and yet you cannot have one without the other. So the dark side is considered yin, and it is the receptive energy. It is the negative. It is the feminine. It is the moon. And then you have the white side, which is the light, the masculine, the productive, and also the sun. So the Yin Yang symbol is about everything we know of that exists in a form of duality. Night and day exist as duality, but so do things that are non-physical, like the conscious and the other than conscious. Some used to call that unconscious or subconscious. The truth is they are below conscious awareness. So that's how they got called sub and unconscious. But the truth is there is only consciousness. And so you have your conscious awareness and then so much of yourself that is beyond that. Consciousness that exceeds your awareness at this time. The thing about the yin and the yang is you see that in the dark side, there is a seed of the white. And in the white side, there is what is considered a seed of the dark. Because you cannot have one without the other. We do not have our dualistic existence without looking at the polarities. In nature, we are shown polarities. So having a dualism and polarity is natural. People want to talk you out of dualism and whatever. It's like, no, I recommend, and Joshua teaches me, to live in balance, to live in harmony. We're not trying to conquer and overcome the negative, nor are we trying to cling to just the positive. I'm always positive. I'm positive all the time. That is out of balance. It is unnatural. And to try to sustain it, you shove a great deal of your whole self into shadow. And we have talked about how shadow will appear. And you don't want it to bite you on the butt. You don't want it to pop out in embarrassing ways. So owning shadow is a more balanced way to be whole and complete. So what are those dualistic opposites in spirituality? Well, in the Western teaching of spirituality, we have what we call positive and negative. But we also have such poles in our magnetosphere around the Earth. There's a positive pole and a negative pole, and it creates a magnetic field around the Earth that protects us from the sun's rays, protects us from the solar wind. So you see, there is purpose in the polarity. A magnet has a positive and a negative side, or what they were calling north and south poles when I was a child in school. And these opposites are important. So we also have, and this is what I was discussing with a friend of mine the other day, we have an opposites in sex, male and female. We need both male and female to reproduce our species. So we need those two different genders to make sure we produce more of our species. And so what I was talking to my friend about was not so much about male and female energy, but something a little less direct. Is called masculine and feminine. Now, masculine and feminine is not about gender. So let's get that clear. All beings have masculine energy and feminine energy. What does that mean? That means you have the productive and the receptive. We all need to receive, to regenerate, to restore, to build our resilience. And we also need to be giving, productive, providing, creating. So within all people, there are male and female, or masculine and feminine energies. And Joshua has taught me that the best way to express my whole self is to bring those masculine and feminine energies into balance. And I do it to the best of my ability. But of course, I get tilted once in a while, you know? But Joshua has also taught me the best way to keep your balance is, first of all, to know when you've lost it. So that's something I spend time contemplating. And the Yin Yang symbol is also very prevalent in holistic healing. It is a very big part, as a matter of fact, played out in Tai Chi, where the movements of masculine and feminine energy are flowing, brought into balance, if you will. And Tai Chi was one of my favorite practices of movement, but you also find it in yoga, in their positions and their way of breathing. You're finding the balance within your whole self, balancing out your polarities, the dualistic parts of whole self. And they also use acupuncture, also employs the techniques of balancing energy through your meridians, the points where energy is most located physically and then spreads out from there. So yin and yang are a part of spiritual development and a part of holistic body health. Yin and yang are also a part of earth and sky, or water and land, these two different components that can be seen as somewhat opposite, the solid and the liquid, the air, which is invisible, and the earth, which appears to be solid. Of course, we've talked about solid matter in the past. It's an illusion that we created for the purpose of the play upon the stage. So yes, I want to, within my whole self, balance my male-female energies. And by learning about that, what did I understand? I came to understand that it is a challenge. And now I'm going to make some very generalized statements, maybe some stereotypical statements, but I certainly do not mean to imply that all men are like this or all women are this way. No, I know there are exceptions in all of these generalizations I'm about to share. But in general, let's say, I have found that males, guys, find it more challenging to admit to their feminine energy, to own any of it, because they see it as a weakness. So they're frightened by it, because their masculine energy tells them they cannot be soft and gentle, nurturing, receptive. It's harder for males in general to go out and seek help, to ask for help. Men had a big blockage when it comes to just seeking mental health care, thinking it was weak to need a counselor. Buck up, man. You can do it. You can pull through this on your own. So seeking help is something that is seen as a weakness and a more feminine energy. Now, what I appreciate about the feminine is their receptiveness. The feminine energy is about how I can receive what I need and then produce what I want to put out. You have to take in energy to put out energy, right? It's a constant flow, a constant cycle coming in actually through the crown chakra and flowing through your um, chakra centers and circulating in a oval shape, more or less, all around your body, all around us. From head to toe, not just down to your root chakra, but head to toe, there's a constant flow of energy coming in and going out. So when energies get blocked up, that's when we need to seek acupuncture or Reiki or do some Tai Chi, to free those blockages, move those energies through. Meditation is also a part of the spiritual element of the Yin Yang. And of course, there is meditation in Tai Chi and yoga and all the arts that came out of ancient China. So I've kind of rambled here and there about why the Yin Yang symbol is important to me. Oh, I did share some generalizations about men and how we struggle sometimes with owning our feminine energy. So let's talk about the other side of that coin, in that women, there are some women that have difficulty asserting their own needs or standing up for themselves. In order to do that, they have to draw on that masculine energy of the yang. They draw in the yang and use that energy to say, this is what I need and why I am here, and I'm worthy of your respect. Some women struggle to make themselves feel assertive because they fear it might be seen as aggressive, you know? Some women have been taught that being assertive makes you a word that rhymes with ditch. And I don't think that. I think assertive women are beautiful. I love their power. I love a woman who can be in both yin yang energy. And to the best of our ability, we want to balance that. Where is the balance found? It is on the edges. Yes, the edges of the yin yang. As you see, that symbol has edges to it. And on the edges where the dark and light come together, there's something I call the gray area. And in the gray area, there is balance. There's peace. There's calm. So we recognize we have polarities, and sometimes they can go to extremes. In our emotions, we have opposites in some ways. Like feeling angry is like the opposite of what I feel when I feel peaceful. And yet, all of our feelings have purpose. All of our feelings deserve expression. And all of our feelings are allowed to just come and go, like your breath. You can't hold your breath for very long, or you will pass out and breathe again. So when you try to hold on to like one emotion, like anger, for a very long time, it will drain you to the point of exhaustion. So we need to balance within our whole selves peace and agitation, peace and agitation. And as we learn to balance, then we are less likely to find ourselves out on the edges where the extremes are. So in the center is where the balance is. And we can see that physically with anything. If you want to balance something, you center its weight, you center its mass. And in order to balance things that are non-physical, let's say the conscious and the unconscious, how do I balance these parts of my whole self? I use a practice of meditation for that. And at the same time, ideas from the other than conscious are allowed to bubble up to my conscious awareness at any moment. Any moment, I can have access to everything that is held in my other than conscious mind. And that alone is mind blowing. To try to bring all of this other than conscious awareness up to a point where I am consciously aware of my whole self. It is a fascinating experience. It is beyond description. I'm struggling to find words. And yet, the longer I stay in balance, the more happy and peaceful I am. But I do not make an effort to try to cling to happy or cling to always being the positive guy. You know, some people think, oh, well, if you get angry, if you ever swear, you're not a spiritual person. That is a misunderstanding. Joshua wants so much to break through our misunderstandings about what is authentic. I say if you deny that you ever get angry, you're building a great deal of shadow. And at some point it will pop out. It will boil over. And if not, let me give you a clue. The world we live in today, the world we share today, is a reflection of our mass consciousness. So what have we shoved into shadow? What have we not been able to own and allow to create balance? Distrust, mistrust, aggression, all types of things we shove into shadow. And then on our world stage, we have all of it being played out, even to the extent of creating war, just because in the mass consciousness, we cannot own our whole self. So that's what we're trying to work toward, this breakthrough, this great awakening, where when people become aware of their oneness, their wholeness, their complete self, and they can own every aspect of the total being without shoving anything into shadow, then we will be able to bring about peace on earth. Peace on earth begins with you, with you. Please do make peace within. And when you have peace within, make peace in your home, make peace at your workplace, be a peacemaker. And yet, own it when you feel agitated, frustrated. You're a human being. Things are going to get to you sometimes. Own it. Don't run from it. Don't shove it into shadow and deny it exists, trying to be spiritual or holy. No. Joshua wants you to be authentic. Be real. You are spiritual. You are mental. You're emotional. And you are physical. Bring all of these parts of the whole self into one. Stop pretending that you are something you're not. Or stop desiring to be something that you're not. Be who you are. And that is beautiful. Joshua will speak to you now. Thank you. Hello, beloved one. It is my honor to be speaking to you this moment. I'm so glad I have your attention. What Jordan has been sharing with you is a visible representation of what we want to accomplish in our development of whole being. So, in the whole self, in the one that created all that is, exists, and expresses all of the elements and energies that you see as negative and positive. Now, positive does not mean more spiritual, and negative does not mean more violent. However, on the extremes of these particular polarities, there are magnificent results to be achieved. Violence for a time will be ushered off the global stage. This is not because it's spiritual to do that. This is not because it must be done. Ushering violence off the global stage is a game to be played by the people manifesting here. The challenge to your creative self is to create a world beyond war. You can do it. In fact, I have visited that world beyond war. I know it exists, and I have seen you there. Parts of your whole self are there because you are the ones planting the seeds that will bring about this transition. How do you grow beyond war? Well, your nations must learn to problem solve without resorting to violence. Your nations must learn to share resources without resorting to violence. And your nations, the leaders of your country, need to learn how to handle their power without abuse. So, we are working in this direction. All of these elements exist right now in dominance on the planet. So it is time to bring about a shift. As a pendulum swings from one extreme to another, we are trying to bring the pendulum to rest at center for an age. And this is the challenge being issued to humankind at this time. Humankind. You want to create a world that feels safe, where there's no crime, there is no war, there is no theft. Now, to get to this point, your societies, your social groups have a great deal of advancement to make to bring their energies back to center, to rest in center. I will talk more about this as we go forward. I know that you understand that within your reality there is duality. Denying that there is dualism is blindness. So living beyond duality means to bring whole self into play and balance it in the center. I've given you plenty to consider and to ponder this day. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Please know that I love you. I am here for you. Call upon me at any time and I will answer you. This is my promise. Also, I want to encourage you to let the light grow. And you do that by letting love show. And always be true to you. Be authentic. And let your life be fun. Thank you so much. I bid you good day. Hey, how about that? We are playing a new game. It's called World Beyond War. We're playing a new game, World Beyond Starvation. We're playing a new game where education is easily accessible to all people. We're playing a new game. We're changing reality. You change the world. By healing yourself, you heal the world. By balancing yourself, you bring balance to the world. Shine on. I love you. Thank you for listening. We hope you heard something to ponder and gained inspiration for your journey. Please join us again next time. Joshua says, let the light grow, let love show, and let your life be fun.